All right, so today we're doing things a little bit differently.
A little different,
Not just filling job openings, not just, plugging holes.
Right.
We are diving deep into internal talent marketplaces.
That's right.
It's a whole new way that organizations are strategically approaching their people.
Yeah. And I think it's something that everybody is really starting to realize is really important.
Yeah, so we dug deep into beyond filling seats, why the internal talent marketplace is your next strategic imperative.
Yes, we did.
And I think this is more than just like another, HR thing that's, flavor of the month.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is really kind of a fundamental shift
Yeah,
in how we think about working inside of an organization.
exactly. And today we really want to unpack for you, the listener, like, why are these ITMs becoming so vital?
Yeah.
Like, what does this mean for the modern workplace
Mm.
and really like the future of your own personal career development?
Yeah.
So to kick things off, I want to kind of just throw out this idea.
Okay.
We have companies spending a fortune hiring externally, and they're often overlooking incredible talent that they already have working for them.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's kind of a recipe for disaster, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, people get frustrated and they end up leaving.
Yeah.
And the source that we're looking at today, it uses this phrase, building walls within our own castles.
Ooh, I like that.
What does that bring to mind for you?
It's a missed opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Like you have this wealth of skills and experience right there in your organization, and it's potentially totally untapped,
Yeah.
And certainly undervalued if it's not given the right avenues to grow.
Yeah.
And, think about it from your perspective as a listener.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to know about exciting new challenges within your company
Right.
before somebody, looks outside for somebody else?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great point because a lot of times it's like, I don't even know what else is out there.
Exactly.
So for you, the listener, like, what exactly is an internal talent marketplace?
Mm.
Because it's more than just like an internal job board.
Right. It's way more than that.
Yeah.
So our source defines it as a dynamic, intelligent ecosystem.
Okay.
And so imagine like this vibrant internal economy
Right.
where your skills, your experiences, and even like your hidden aspirations
Yeah.
can be connected with a whole range of different opportunities.
Yeah.
And these aren't just, your grandfather's dusty old job postings, right?
Right.
We're talking about platforms that are powered by AI and data analysis
Wow.
that link you with not only full-time roles,
Okay.
but also short-term projects.
So like little gigs almost.
Yeah, almost like internal gigs.
Okay.
Kind of think about like a marketing whiz, lending their skills to an engineering team for a product launch.
Okay. Yeah.
Or a stretch assignment where you can learn, that coding language you've always wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Mentorship programs.
Cool.
Even personalized learning paths that are tailored to your own individual growth.
Wow. So it's like really giving you more transparency and power to kind of take control of your career.
Exactly.
It's not just waiting for that next rung on the ladder.
Yeah.
It's like actually seeking out these different experiences and charting your own course.
Yeah, absolutely. And the forces that are driving this shift are huge.
Yeah.
Like our source talks about several converging trends that are making ITMs less of a luxury and more of a necessity for any organization that wants to stay competitive and keep talented people like you engaged.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit for the listener.
Okay.
First up, like post-pandemic world,
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all heard of the Great Resignation.
Well, Great Resignation. Yeah.
How has that really kind of created a tailwind for these ITMs?
So the Great Resignation really shook things up for a lot of companies, right? It wasn't just about salary anymore. It was about a lot of, you as listeners were looking for more meaning in your jobs.
Yeah.
Greater flexibility, and crucially more avenues for growth and development. And companies realized that just a paycheck wasn't enough to keep their best people.
Right.
It became about, showing a real commitment to your career progression.
Yeah.
And ITMs are a really concrete way for them to demonstrate that investment in you.
Yeah, like we're actually going to put our money where our mouth is.
Exactly.
And really invest in helping you grow.
Exactly.
Cool. Okay, so then there's this whole idea of this accelerating skills economy.
Yeah.
I mean, things are changing so fast.
So fast.
How do ITMs help people stay ahead of that curve?
Yeah, that's a really crucial point for your own career development, right?
Yeah.
Traditional training programs can sometimes struggle to keep pace with how fast skills are changing.
Yeah.
But ITMs offer a much more agile solution for you.
Okay.
They connect you with internal projects
Yeah.
that require specific skills or help you develop those in-demand skills.
Cool.
So it facilitates this continuous reskilling and upskilling,
Yeah.
but in a very practical, hands-on way.
Cool.
It's about learning by doing.
I love that.
And it benefits both you and the organization, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. Wouldn't you prefer to gain experience in a new area
Yeah.
by actually working on a real project
As
rather than just reading about it in a book?
Totally. Yeah. And so it's really closing those skill gaps in real time
Yes.
through opportunities rather than just relying on hiring someone new or putting you through some training program that might be outdated by the time you finish it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then, what about organizations needing to be agile?
Yeah.
I mean, market disruptions.
Yeah.
Things are changing so quickly.
All the time.
So how do these ITMs contribute to that?
So agility is absolutely essential for companies to thrive in today's, volatile world.
Right.
They need to be able to adapt quickly.
Yeah.
They need to be able to form cross-functional teams
Yeah.
to tackle these new challenges
And move people around quickly.
and redeploy talent to where it's needed most.
Right.
And ITMs provide that visibility into the skills inventory
Cool.
that a company has. So it makes it easier and faster to assemble those teams
Okay.
and move people like you to where you're needed most.
Right.
And it's all without, those long drawn-out processes.
And the cost.
And the costs associated with external recruitment.
Yeah.
So essentially, your diverse skills become a readily available resource for the whole company.
I love that. So you've got this internal pool of talent
Yes.
that they can just tap into whenever something new pops up.
Exactly.
Rather than, okay, let's go through this whole hiring process again.
Exactly.
Okay, so our source also mentions this idea of technological maturity.
Yeah.
How have advancements in tech kind of enabled the rise of these more sophisticated ITMs?
Well, recent leaps in, artificial intelligence and machine learning
Yeah.
and the integration of all these different HR technology platforms have been game changers.
Yeah.
They've really helped us create these dynamic marketplaces for you.
Wow.
So we now have the capability to build these ITMs
Yeah.
that can intelligently match you with opportunities based on a deep understanding of your skills, your past experiences, your potential, and even your career goals.
It's like they really get to know you in a way.
They do.
Wow, that's cool.
This level of personalization and the sheer scale of it just wasn't possible a few years ago.
Wow.
Imagine an AI that can spot a perfect project for you
Yeah,
based on skills you didn't even realize were transferable.
that's so cool.
It is.
So it's like the AI is kind of like a matchmaker almost.
Yeah, like a smart internal matchmaker.
I love it.
Surfacing these opportunities that you might not even be aware of
Yeah.
and helping organizations identify the right internal talent for their specific needs.
Yeah, it's like that hidden gem
Exactly.
within the workforce
That you didn't even know was there.
that you didn't even know was there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this really kind of aligns with what a lot of people are looking for today.
it does.
Especially, younger generations.
Yeah,
People want transparency. They want autonomy.
yeah,
They want to be constantly developing.
Yeah.
They don't want to just go up a straight ladder.
yeah,
They want to have these diverse experiences.
yes,
So if you're working for a company and you're like, wow, they have this ITM,
yeah,
that's a pretty attractive place to work.
absolutely. It shows that they're invested in you and your future
Yeah. For the long haul.
for the long haul.
Yeah. Okay, so the source also touches on DEI.
Right.
How can ITMs contribute to diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Yeah, this is a really important aspect for creating a fair and inclusive workplace for everyone.
Yeah.
And when it's implemented thoughtfully, with good intentions,
Yeah.
ITMs can be very powerful tools
Okay.
for advancing DEI
Okay.
by focusing on skills, experiences, and potential
Right.
rather than relying on, traditional factors like tenure or informal
Oh, yeah.
networks.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
ITMs can help to surface talented individuals from all different parts of the organization.
that's cool.
So it provides more equitable access
Yeah.
to opportunities for everyone. And it can help mitigate unconscious bias
Yeah.
that can sometimes influence traditional processes.
So it really kind of levels that playing field a little bit.
It does. It levels the playing field.
Cool. Okay, so we've talked about kind of the why behind the momentum.
The why, yeah.
Let's dig into the value, the real strategic value.
Yeah.
Obviously there's cost savings.
Right.
But what about the deeper stuff? And what does that mean for, you as an employee within a company.
Yeah, well, the cost savings are definitely real and measurable, right?
Right.
Think about reduced external hiring expenses and faster onboarding
Yeah.
when you're moving somebody internally.
Yeah.
But the strategic advantages are far more significant.
Yeah.
Our source emphasizes the idea of winning the talent war from within.
Yeah, it's like retention is the new recruitment.
Exactly.
So how does an ITM contribute to that?
So an ITM sends a very clear signal to you
Yeah.
that you're valued.
Yeah.
And that there are exciting pathways for development right there in your company.
Yeah.
It transforms the employee value proposition
Okay.
from just a static set of benefits to like a dynamic journey of growth.
Yeah.
And this can be a really powerful tool for retaining top performers
Yeah.
who might otherwise feel like they need to look outside for
Right.
new challenges and opportunities.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm not learning here. I'm going
Yeah.
to go somewhere else.
Exactly.
So this shows them that they're really invested in you.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about building the resilience of the organization
Yeah.
as a whole?
So by fostering a culture of internal mobility and continuous skill development,
Yeah.
ITMs help create a more adaptable and resilient workforce.
Okay.
You and your colleagues gain broader exposure to different parts of the business.
Right.
You develop a wider range of skills.
Yeah.
You become more comfortable with navigating change.
Yeah.
This internal fluidity makes the organization as a whole much more agile
Okay.
and better equipped to handle whatever the future may bring.
It's like ready for anything?
Yeah, ready for anything.
That's cool.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah, okay, so then the source also talks about this idea of unlocking latent potential
Yeah.
and innovation, which kind of go hand in hand, I think.
Yeah, they do.
What does that mean? Like, what does that look like?
So think about how much untapped skill and ambition might exist within your organization right now,
Yeah.
perhaps hidden within very specific roles or
Yeah.
departments.
Right.
ITMs provide a way to uncover this hidden potential by connecting individuals like you with projects and opportunities
Yeah,
where your unique capabilities can really shine,
I love that.
even if those capabilities aren't being fully utilized in your current role.
Yeah.
So this cross-pollination of ideas and skills across different teams
Yeah.
can be a huge driver of innovation
Yeah.
and can lead to new opportunities for everyone.
It's like you're finding those hidden gems
Exactly.
within your existing workforce.
Yes.
And giving them a chance to really shine, and that benefits everybody.
It benefits everybody.
Okay, so how do ITMs help with future-proofing a workforce?
So the data generated by an ITM is incredibly valuable for this.
Yeah.
It provides insights into the current skills landscape,
Yeah,
and it helps to identify emerging skill gaps.
cool.
So this allows leaders to be proactive in workforce planning and talent development
Okay.
to ensure that the organization has the right capabilities in place to meet future demands.
So they're not just reacting to something.
Exactly.
They're actually planning ahead.
They're planning ahead.
Cool.
So it's about preparing for the future together.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then finally, how do ITMs impact, your day-to-day experience
Yeah.
as an employee? Like, how does it affect your engagement and everything?
So feeling stuck in a role
Yeah.
is a major cause of disengagement for a lot of people.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
So by providing you with more agency over your own career development
Yeah.
and offering visibility into different opportunities within the company
Yeah.
and fostering a culture of growth and learning,
Yeah.
ITMs can really boost your motivation.
Cool.
They can encourage you to go the extra mile
Yeah.
and really create a deeper sense of connection to the organization's mission
Yeah.
when you feel like you have avenues for growth
Yeah.
and your contributions are valued.
Yeah.
You're naturally more engaged.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so our source also mentions
Yeah.
that the technology is almost the easy part.
Right.
It's the cultural shift.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, that's the real work.
So let's dig into that. Like,
Right.
what does that actually mean for the way companies operate?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Implementing the platform itself is just one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Fostering the right mindset
Yeah.
and behaviors across the organization from the
Mhm.
top down
Yeah.
is where the real work begins.
Totally.
And this often requires a significant shift in how companies think about and manage talent.
Right. And that comes down to redefining the role of managers.
Like, how do their responsibilities need to evolve in an organization that's really bought into this idea of an ITM?
So managers need to move away from this idea
Yeah.
that the talent on their teams
Yeah.
is solely their talent,
Yeah.
and instead embrace this mindset of stewarding talent for the benefit of the whole organization.
Okay.
So their success should be measured not just by their team's performance,
Yeah.
but by their contribution to developing and sharing talent
across the company.
across the company.
Yeah.
So that means actively encouraging you and your colleagues to explore internal opportunities
Yeah.
and even helping you identify potential growth areas
Right.
rather than trying to hold on to top performers.
Like just breaking down that talent hoarding mentality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we need to dismantle that through clear expectations, training, and potentially even rethinking how managers are recognized and rewarded.
Yeah.
They become more like career coaches.
Yeah. I love that.
And then also the source mentions that it's really important to have that support from the top
Yeah. Absolutely essential.
so that people feel like it's not just some program,
Yeah.
it's something that the company really believes in.
Yeah. Visible and vocal support from leadership
Yeah.
is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Leaders need to communicate very clearly the importance of internal mobility
Yeah.
for the company's success.
Yeah.
And they need to celebrate successful moves.
Yeah.
And actively participate in the ITM themselves.
Lead by example.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And then the source also highlights this idea of building trust
Yes.
and transparency.
Absolutely.
Why is that so important?
So you and your colleagues need to feel confident
Yeah.
that exploring internal opportunities
Yeah.
won't negatively impact your current role.
Right.
You're standing within the company.
Like you're not going to get in trouble.
Yeah, you don't want to feel like you're going to get penalized
Yeah.
for expressing interest in something else. So clear guidelines, fair and consistent processes,
Yeah.
open communication about how the ITM works.
Yeah.
All of that is essential for building that trust.
Yeah.
If you fear being penalized for expressing interest, the ITM simply won't work.
Right.
Yeah.
It's creating that safe space for people to explore.
A safe space for internal exploration.
I love that. Okay. And then finally,
Yes.
how should ITMs be integrated
Yeah.
with the existing performance and development processes?
The ITM shouldn't exist in isolation.
Okay.
It should be tightly woven into the organization's talent lifecycle.
Okay.
So this means integrating it with performance conversations,
Yeah.
where you and your manager can discuss potential growth opportunities
Yeah.
that have been identified through the ITM.
Yeah.
It should also be a key component of your development planning,
Yeah.
helping you identify projects and experiences that will help you build new skills.
Yeah.
And similarly, it can inform succession planning by providing that visibility into candidates
Wow.
with the potential to fill future leadership roles.
So it really becomes this central tool for managing people's careers
Does.
within the company.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking ahead,
Yeah.
how does the source envision the future of these ITMs?
So the journey is definitely still evolving, right?
Yeah.
We can anticipate even deeper integration of AI,
Okay.
which could lead to things like predictive career pathing,
Cool.
where the system suggests potential future roles for you.
Wow.
We might even see more automated team assembly
Wow.
based on specific project needs.
Yeah.
Hyper-personalization is probably going to become even more sophisticated, tailoring opportunities not just to your skills,
Yeah.
but to your work style preferences
Yeah.
and your long-term career aspirations.
Oh, wow.
And as we've discussed, the data generated by ITMs
Yeah.
is going to become increasingly vital
Yeah.
for strategic workforce planning.
It's like it just keeps getting smarter and smarter.
It does,
Yeah.
and more integrated into how organizations manage people.
So for you, the listener, what's the key takeaway from all of this?
The core message is that ITMs represent a fundamental shift in how organizations think about talent.
Yeah.
About you.
You, the listener.
You, the listener.
Yeah.
It's a move away from just reacting to vacancies
Right.
and toward proactively cultivating internal talent
Yeah.
for the benefit of the organization and the individual.
And it's realizing that building careers internally
Yeah.
isn't just some nice thing to do.
No.
It's actually a strategic investment.
It's a strategic investment in the future.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And moving beyond just filling seats to strategically building careers
Yeah.
is an investment that pays off
Yeah.
in terms of retention, agility, innovation, and overall strength.
So as we wrap up today's deep dive,
Yeah.
for you, the listener,
Yeah.
I want you to consider the potential that might exist within your own network
Yeah.
or organization.
Yeah. Think about that.
How could a more transparent and dynamic system
Yeah.
unlock that potential?
Yeah.
Not just for the company,
But for you.
but for you.
Yeah.
And I also want you to think about, personally,
Yeah.
what would your ideal internal talent marketplace look like?
Yeah.
And how could you advocate for something like that within your own workplace?
Yeah.
That's something for you to think about as we conclude our deep dive today.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening.